this guy right here, the gatekeeper of Egypt. Someone actually brought up something very interesting about this guy, and it was the fact that he is withholding things that could change the course of history for mankind. And the fact that he's gatekeeping and refuses to open his mind to any type of theories or anything, and he's doing it because of his relationship with the Egyptian government. First off, it makes me think right away. First off, it makes me think right away that whatever we think happened with the pyramids, it's so much more than just slaves or tradesmen built it. It's so much more than that. Just the fact that they're trying to hide it. The same way they won't let me go to Antarctica just makes me think, okay, there's something there that I obviously can't see, and it's something incredible that would help mankind, and you don't want us to have it. This guy's doing the exact same thing. He will not let anybody else present any type of theories in regards to Egypt at all, ever. He has made sure to not allow that to happen. He hasn't let Graham Hancock explore Egypt anymore. He had a hand in kicking out Graham Hancock from the pyramids and possibly from Egypt altogether. This guy is terrible and honestly should be in jail for what he's doing. We should be able to know as a species exactly who built these pyramids and what their intention was with the whole thing. If we were to find out that the pyramids were, he's a dictator, 100%. If we were to find out the pyramids were some kind of power plant, some people have that theory. If we were to find that out, it could change the course of history, because then we would have to go, oh, okay, so maybe, but because of this guy, we're not allowed to actually know that. It's actually crazy. So in this clip, I don't know if you guys heard, but there is a technology that these Egyptian scientists or engineers have figured out how to use in order to see underneath the pyramids. And they're the ones speculating that there are structures deep underneath the pyramids, maybe even 2 miles deep. There's something there. And I wouldn't doubt it. I just showed you a clip of the outdoorsman where he's standing on just snow. He's just on the ground and he starts digging and he realizes that he's on top of trees. It's a possibility. And he's just completely dismissing it. Here's the clip. Let's jump in.
Your Majesty, because you will rule, and your sons and your grandson. Now, about magic.
Yeah.
Do you believe in religion or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about Judaism?
Sure, a little
When
bit.
God told Moses, when Moses met God, and God told him to go to Egypt to meet the Pharaoh.
Right.
And God told him, remember, the Pharaohs are highly in magic.
Right.
They will beat you. Then God taught Moses how to be more in magic than the Pharaoh. And you remember, when he heard the stick, and the stick became a snake, I think. And Moses brought more snakes to swallow what the Pharaoh did. Then we know from books, from Judaism from the beginning, that the ancient Egyptians were really highly in magic. Then we can believe.
Do you think that magic might have had something to do with how they constructed the pyramids? No?
No.
You don't, but if you believe that they had enough magic to take a goose's head and put it back on, it's still alive. That's magic.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they use that magic for other things?
But we have.
But if you believe in magic.
I do, of course.
You do believe in magic.
Yeah.
So you believe that someone could take someone's head off, put it back on.
It's written.
Okay, then it must be true.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What is this? Someone's going to kill a dove?
It's a magic trick.
This guy said, so it's written, so it must be true, right? Yes. Okay. Joe's so done with this guy. The patience on Joe. Yeah. The patience on him. That's what happens when you have 3 daughters, I guess. You just build up this crazy amount of patience.
Trick can decapitate birds and stuff.
Oh,
And put it
okay.
back together. I was just reading it. Apparently, in the trick that he did it, he put the head on the other side of the room and made them come back together. He did it to a calf and a different animal also. But
Now, what really I want to tell you
Well,
now.
that person's magic too. Maybe that
Now,
person can make us a pyramid.
what I want to show you, that I'm not a person.
What do you think magic is?
Magic is magic.
What do you mean?
Magic is?
Well, how does it work?
I have no idea. I What do you mean by how it works?
Well, I mean, how does someone do something like that?
I
that
have no
seems
idea. We have to go
physically
back.
and
We have to go back.
impossible?
We have to go back and you to 4,600 years ago.
And do you think a lot of this information is what was lost in the burning of the Library of Alexandria?
Of course,
'Cause
this is some of it, but
they
still,
kept unbelievably detailed
but
records,
still
right?
also, because I will tell you why we do not have any evidence about Khufu temples and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened? The ancient Egyptian believe that a pharaoh should be a male. A pharaoh cannot be a female. Anyone who changed the religious belief, they hit him. Hatshepsut, when she became a pharaoh, they hated her and they destroyed her monuments. Khufu, when he changed his cult to be a sun god, in the first intermediate period, they destroyed his monuments, the temples, the statues. The only statue of that king was found in Upper Egypt, not at Giza. Even in the temple of his sons, there were 23 statues. They smashed the statues. A smashing was a sign of revenge. Now, do you have any question about Khufu pyramid before I switch to the Sphinx?
Well, I'm fascinated by a lot of aspects of Khufu's pyramid. Well, one of the big ones that's come up very recently that I'm sure you're aware of is these satellite radar. Was it called tomographic? What is it called? Tomographic? Where they think that there's these pillars underneath the structure.
Okay. I investigated this. First of all, these two scholars from Italy, they have never been in Egypt. They have never worked in the pyramids before.
Right.
Number-
But they're using satellite
Listen,
information.
Number
though.
2, they published their article in a journal. This journal do not send their article to the freeze. You pay a fee to publish the article in your responsibility.
Okay.
Number 3, I am not a scientist. I took these techniques that they used and I gave it to expertise. And they said, these techniques cannot show underneath a solid rock of almost 600 feet down. No way.
Why can't they?
They said this technique cannot show that.
But these scientists are saying they can. Do you know about the Osiris shaft? How they've got
I
they scanned?
discovered it.
You did, right?
Yes.
But do you know that they use this tomographic
No,
radar? and they-
no, I am the one who found it. This is not.
No, I understand you found it, but they also discovered it. They showed that it exists using the same technique.
No,
Jamie,
no.
pull up that-
This is wrong.
Is
This is
it?
not true at all.
This guy's frustrating to listen to. The way that he acts. And on top of this, just know he's already asked Joe Rogan at this point to introduce him in Houston because he was giving a lecture. He wanted Joe Rogan to come and introduce him. The balls. The old, saggy balls on this guy. Are you kidding me? To talk like this. He's just like, they haven't been to Egypt. I gave it to experts. These Italians are the only ones who know how to do this currently. There's no one else doing it. So he just gave it to people who he works with, and they're like, they couldn't possibly do that. This guy is so deeply financially incentivized to do this type of stuff that he's doing on this podcast. It's not even funny. It's so crazy how incentivized he is. He's just hanging on to his job. This guy that we're seeing, he is the exact same thing that you see in the government. He is Nancy Pelosi. He is that Finkelstein lady that passed around. He is Joe Biden. He is Chris Van Hollen. He is this old person that just won't let go of power and just allow the new school of thought to come in and start changing things. He is that exact same type of guy, except he's an Egyptologist.
I can
Hold
tell you
on,
how
Jamie,
I found
I'll
it.
tell you.
How can I
No,
find
I'm,
that
I'm not
shaft?
saying that you didn't find it. It's under the paper Signature Aperture Radar Doppler Tomography by Filippo Bondi. And if you scroll down, Jamie, you'll see an image. And this image is of the Osiris shaft, which shows that they got an accurate depiction of that from space,
That's not true.
from satellite. It's not true.
No.
So what are you saying, that they're lying? So
They're
this right
lying.
here.
They're completely lying.
But if they're showing, using these techniques, things that we know that you discovered that absolutely exist.
Now, these techniques, as I told you,
Mm-hmm.
scientists said that these techniques cannot show 600 feet under the pyramid. The Osiris shaft that I found was only 50 feet
Right, but
under
it's
the ground.
showing, at least for 50 feet, that this is accurate. What makes you believe those scientists rather than these guys from Italy?
Because the scientists are scientists.
Well, these are scientists as well.
They are not showing their techniques carefully. They have not.
What do you mean they're not showing their techniques carefully?
Take the techniques that they said and show it to any scientist. No one can tell you this is accurate. I asked every person who knows about radar, ultrasound, all the people work with me. The Scan Pyramid project, they said this is bullshit. It cannot happen at all. Now, tell me.
So you're telling me that these scientists that are proclaiming the capabilities of these satellite tomography devices that are saying that they can see kilometers into the ground with this stuff.
That's not true. I did.
Are you sure?
I did.
Do you understand the technology?
No,
You
not me.
So
But
you're just listening to
asked
other people.
scientists who are in this field.
Have you talked to these scientists that are saying that they have these discoveries?
I made a press release.
But did you talk to
They
them?
did. I did not.
Why not?
Because they did not talk to me. How can I find them?
Would you be willing to talk
Of
to them?
course
If I can
am.
connect you to them?
Yes,
Okay,
do.
I'll connect you to them. I'm just interested, if new technology becomes available and they figure out a way to look into the ground and you discover things, especially if they discover the Osiris shaft and it turns to actually
They
be
did not
accurate.
discover the Osiris shaft again.
Okay, you discovered it, but they used their technology to show an accurate depiction of the interior of the Osiris shaft.
The
hold on.
Osiris shaft
Is that true?
No,
It's not.
The Osiris
The
shaft.
images that we showed,
The
is that true?
The Osiris shaft is known to everyone.
Right.
It can be
but
seen by
when
everyone.
they turned their equipment on the Osiris shaft, it shows the actual interior.
Maybe, I don't know, but
Yes.
this is 50
Let's
feet.
look at it
But
again.
they're talking about 600 feet.
I understand, but if it can go 50 feet, why can't it go
Okay,
600
now
feet?
I am again.
Do you know?
Again, I'm not a scientist.
Right, so why are you dismissing it, though?
I gave what
I
they
understand.
published
I
to a
understand.
scientist, and they said that's not true.
Okay,
but
but
listen, then
scientists
what
are
I did- what-
wrong all
okay,
the time,
fine,
particularly
fine.
ones that are biased.
Then
correct?
what I did?
Imagine Joe just got up and kicked him. You just gave him one of those side kicks, one of those Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks that he does. Imagine. How crazy would that be? How satisfying, huh? You know? Do you know what often clears the way to progress? Funerals. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. That is, I'm telling you, it's a crime against humanity. The way that he's being, the fact that he's not open. And the thing is, it's not just this conversation. Anyone who tries to investigate, look into, dig, he stops them at every turn, every single turn. Anyone who has an opposing theory to what he has already discovered or put out there into the world, he completely just pushes aside as lies, not true, this, that. He stands as the top Egyptologist, but it's only because he completely gatekeeps and holds down every other single person. Again, Graham Hancock cannot do anything over in Egypt that he wants to do, and it's because of this man. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Again, imagine we find out something that's just mind-blowing about the pyramids. Imagine he has already, and he's keeping it from everybody. It's crazy.
What I did, I made a press release
Okay.
explaining my point.
Yes.
And I said, my work of the second pyramid, that the base of the pyramid is 28 feet of solid rock.
Right.
And there is no way that anything can be happened in the solid rock. And I
Well,
explained.
I think what they're
let
saying
me-
is it's
let me-
underneath
let-
the solid rock,
let me
correct?
let me finish. And I said, your techniques that you published in this magazine
Mm-hmm.
is not refereed by a scientist. You just published it. And number three, the team that working in Giza with all these new techniques, they said, this is wrong. They know.
The team that's working in Giza with all these techniques, what do you mean?
We have the scan pyramid team.
Right.
They're working.
But you understand this is different technology.
I understand, but they know about this technology.
But have they used this
No,
technology?
they said this technology cannot work, cannot show 600 feet under the pyramid at all. This is what they said. And this is why, if the Italians were confident, they could contact me. I'm the pyramid expert that anyone should.
Well, we'll make sure that happens. But listen, if the stone is 20 feet thick, the solid stone at the base, that's correct, right? And you said Osiris shaft is 50 feet. That means it can see past 20 feet, right?
But how can
So
I?
it could see through the stone and see.
But
what they're showing.
But the Osiris
repeated
shaft,
over and over again. is these images.
the Osiris shaft is open.
Right.
It's not covered to see.
I understand.
You can go and you see the Osiris shaft down.
Right.
Everyone can see it.
But the interior is not open, and the interior is.
But you can see
visible,
the interior.
But you can't see it to the exact dimensions the way these tomographic images showed, right? If they're using this technology to go 50 feet under the ground to get an accurate depiction of the Osiris shaft.
I am not a scientist.
I understand, but this is my question.
All
why
the
would
expertise.
why would you dismiss it if you haven't looked under there?
Because I told you, it is not me who can dismiss this.
What does it say, Jimmy?
This is the link to the original article, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If there's their names. The very first sentence says that
The
due to
problem
the
with
poor
it?
penetrating action of electromagnetic waves inside solid bodies, the capability to observe these distributed targets is precluded. And then they had to come up with an experimental. It says experimental results are estimated by processing the SAR images into something else. And so I think that's the disconnect I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't understand the technology, but my question is, we know how spectacular the pyramids are. We know how spectacular just the base of it, the fact that it's carved into solid rock.
Is Jamie riding with that guy? Is that what that was? Is that what that was? Is he riding with that guy? Whose side you on here, bro? Whose side you on? What's going on with him? Oh man, Joseph's like, huh. Right as I'm debating this guy. Okay.
Solid rock. Why would you not think that maybe other spectacular things exist even
I am
below
not.
it?
I told you, I am not this type knows about the science. I consulted the team, the top in the world, from Japan, France, and Egypt.
Who are these people?
They are the scan pyramid team.
Okay, the scan pyramid.
Yeah.
the ones that found the
Exactly.
chamber above.
And they are working with me. And we found many other things in the second pyramid and the third pyramid. And we published this.
Right.
We just published an article
I understand.
last week.
Using different
Then what I am
techniques, right?
saying, if these techniques that these two Italians are correct, the only people who really can tell you it's correct or not are the scan pyramid people, not me.
But the scan pyramid people, aren't they using different technology?
But they know about technology. They are the top scientists in the world. I have to believe them, not the two Italians.
Yeah.
And if the Italians are really correct, they could come to talk to us, not me,
Well,
to talk to me and others.
I will definitely try to connect you with those people because I know that Graham Hancock and Brian Mirarescu have been in contact with those people, and they're open-minded about it. They don't know what's going on down there, but these images are repeated over and over and over again.
Fine. But
It's fascinating either way.
Okay.
The
He's the worst. He's the worst. He's hands down the worst. This is crazy. This is so terrible. And I'm so glad, looking at the comments of my video from the first one that I did, the comments in Joe Rogan's actual YouTube video where he is talking with this guy. I'm so glad that we all came together as the JR community and said, F this guy. I'm so happy that we all did that together. You know, I didn't know if we were all going to do it together. And we all did it.
Joe Rogan podcast, check it out.
Come on,
The
stop
Joe Rogan
playing.
Experience.
Come on, you can stop. My mouse is
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night. All
What kind of
day.
mouse do I have? Hey, stop. My mouse sucks. I'm ready to throw out this whole computer, but I'm so glad to see the comments here. on this video. Just so happy. Never leave a comment, but have to give Joe props for putting up with this guy for 2 hours. The tone in Joe's voice when he's completely over someone is very easy to distinguish between when he's having a good conversation. Zaha and Neil deGrasse Tyson should start a podcast called Let Me Finish. Joe saying like P. Diddy in this with a serious face as the joke flies over the guest's head had me howling. I can't wait to hear Joe talk to others on future podcasts about this one. Forget gatekeeping. This guy built the damn gate. Yeah, exactly. I was an orphan, spent years in foster, 37 years old, found my biological parents in his book. Because he kept saying it's all in his book. Everything's in his book. I don't know who I'm more impressed with. The fact that Zaha didn't walk out the second any of his rambles were questioned, or Joe managed to listen to this guy for 2 hours whilst being very restrained. Everybody saw, everybody understood. I'm not cherry picking comments. Go as low as you want, go as high as you want in the comment section. It's all just this. That man was not there to have a conversation. He was there to tell you what to believe. This was unintentionally one of the most hilarious episodes ever. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Just crazy. He seems awfully defensive. Big red flag. He should have got the guy high. That's the first thing. Just the tip of the cigar. If that cigar he was smoking, just that much of it, if that was just weed right there, he lit it, took some big hauls, that was it, that would have been perfect. You're 100% right. Would have had him on a completely different wavelength. He would have said, Joe, okay. Oh, we're not recording? Okay, listen. The pyramids are built by aliens. I cannot tell. The government told me I cannot tell you. But it's aliens. And I have alien body. I see the body. And it's small. And they use their brains. They go and they lift the pyramid. It was crazy. I tell you. I have all of the proof. Would have been a completely different conversation, you know? It was aliens, Joe. So many aliens come out. I have at least 12 alien bodies, small guys. They go They lift pyramid. Underneath the pyramid, whole city of aliens running around. I see them, I go, oh no, I run away. Oh man, you sound just like him. Yeah, man. Sadly, like I say, the gift and the curse, I listened to every episode twice, so I picked up a thing or two listening to that guy. Absolutely ridiculous. Just give him a tab of acid, it'll change his mind about everything. Oh yeah. That guy on acid, that guy would have been like, I should be in jail. I should be in jail for what I've done. I have been keeping the secret. We could have had free energy all over the world. I keep this secret. They make me. You understand? I went to the island one time with this guy Jeffrey, and now I have to keep these secrets. I want to tell everybody about the aliens. I can't. I don't know what to do. I have very few years to live. You know, is it pride and ego that causes people to be so close-minded? This is very frustrating for the rest of us. I don't know if it's pride and ego. I mean, on the surface, yeah, that's what you would say. You know, if you really put on your tinfoil Speedo, you might go to a different place. I mean, I think that there is something being covered up in regards to the pyramids. Because you have to understand, and even me as a Christian, it does, if the pyramids were built any other way than what's been described, you know, There were slaves. They built them. If it's any different, it kind of knocks what's been put into writing. It kind of knocks it around. And it kind of blows everybody's mind. And if you do find out there was some kind of power plan, if you do find out that there was some kind of very smart, highly advanced society that was connected worldwide, which is why every continent seems to have pyramids of some kind. If that all of a sudden becomes common knowledge and the thought, it just changes everything. It changes everything. It changes who are natives and who are not. It changes, we have to start thinking of what happened to this civilization. How long people have been around completely gets knocked back thousands and thousands of years. The Egyptians who are there today, who probably sit back and claim like, yeah, this was us. This was our forefathers. All of a sudden that's done. You're no more the native to that land than the Native Americans are to North America. They came from Polynesia. All of a sudden we're going to figure out these Egyptians that are there now, they came from some other place and populated that place, and it's not actually them. And then we start, who was that civilization? How are they all connected? Then we start to realize all of this stuff that we have set up. It's not the first time that it's been like this. It knocks everything out of whack. So I think there is a concerted effort to make sure that we don't find out how the pyramids were actually built. I don't know. What is this? Off topic. Would you start a garden with your family? Yes, I guess. I'm far from my family though. But yeah, with my wife, my kid, yeah, sure. Start a garden. Why not? That was off topic. The rulers that can't control everything are threatened. It's the only thing that actually makes sense. That's what I'm thinking. It knocks everything out of whack. And it starts to build steam on the notion that you are not this insignificant thing and that you are actually connected to something that's very divine. And it's not just cavemen picking their noses. It's actually something very evolved. You're connected to that. And then what happens is, who's been keeping the secret and who stunted our actual evolution, whether it be via technology or just biological? Who's the person or people or group that's responsible for stopping us from evolving the way that we're supposed to? Who's the person that stopped the free energy, or the group that stopped the free energy? Who's the person that stunted us this way so they could control us? All of these things get kicked into gear when you start thinking about this, when you actually start thinking about the pyramids being built different than they are. I know I'm going off on a limb, but it does. It does. Because it's in scripture. It's in scripture. A lot of Jewish people are like, we built the pyramids. If all of a sudden that's not true, nothing makes sense anymore. And then all of a sudden people start questioning the books that they have. Now we're questioning everything. We're questioning technology. We're questioning civilization. We're questioning religion. We're questioning the Bible. We're questioning everything if all of a sudden it gets out. So, I don't know. Either way, I don't like the guy. I'll say that much. But moving on. Let's see what else I got going